Farmer, your channel to keep you up to date with the latest trends in agriculture and livestock. So, Jerry, we have had a slow week for grains, and what do you think is the reason behind these market moves?
Well, it's been a tough one, all right. It's definitely a defensive market here. Uh, to some extent, a week ago, week and so, President Trump seemed to wait for some kind of response back from Iran about peace talks, but that didn't come, and so the he resumed bombing, things of that nature. And so we ended up having a defensive tone for part of that. And also the fact that the forecast did have some rains in it, which has come into this weekend, and it looks like it's on target here at this point. So the international scenario has been still mixed at this point, but the forecast or the actual rain in the Midwest and the U.S. has been uh, a positive here going into August, which is always a very important month as we finalize pollination and also we have uh, blooming in the soybeans.
Yes, and for the case of wheat, I think this is the weather scenario is more severe considering that we have not had significant rain over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I agree. The Western Corn Belt has been somewhat lackluster on moisture. There was some rains on this one that would just happened here or forecasted for this weekend, and that. But I think more than anything else is that they uh, it hit a technical feature here in Chicago wheat and they had a liquidation on Friday. So I sure don't think that things have improved in the Mideast by any means. It looks like things have uh, definitely continued uh, active fighting between Iran and the U.S. And even now, the Russians and the Ukrainians haven't, at this point, come up with a plan that they're not bombing each other's export facilities, and that suggests actually there's some concerns from the Russians that their export capabilities will be curtailed here uh, this fall. So, but right now the wheat market got beat up after it slipped below the 650 mark base of September.
Yes, and for the corn scenario, I think the market is still not pricing the fact that there could be a reduced second corn crop in Brazil. We have had some news that in the state of Paraná, the state agency there is already considering the reductions in the crop for that specific state.
Yes, I picked that same item up too, and I think that is important to watch from there. Uh, excuse me, Mato Grosso is the big dog in Brazil there for second crop corn. There wasn't a particular update on that. There, I guess it's interesting at this point. Harvest progress has not been maybe as fast as it has been in the past here in that, and I'm not sure that's a good or a bad sign. Is they're waiting to see if they can get a better price, or and they have the crop, or there just isn't as many bushels down there as it seems like in Paraná. But in general, the Brazilians uh, and the Argentinians are still going to be a factor in the corn market here on a worldwide basis. The U.S., South America, and China are the three biggies on corn production around the
Yes,
world.
in the
And
case, yeah, of Argentina, we were off to a slow start.
oh, I know that they didn't like all these. uh, the second crop world and that, and even the third crop, I guess you'd call it in Argentina, and that has partly because the price points haven't been that encouraging, and so people haven't been excited about planting it, and that might indicate some smaller supplies. I think overall, the one thing that I have been picking up here is that. Indications in the old crop corn in the U.S. that the crop size for last year might not be at this 186 number because of our stocks numbers we've had through the first three quarters of the year, and also the fact that uh, this last week, our crop conditions dropped probably the biggest amount I've seen in quite some time in late July and August, and we're down 4% on corn and down 3% on beans. And at this point, we're not talking about average, good, and excellence here in the 72, 75 zone. We're talking about numbers in the 65. Now, that's an interesting twist. Uh, as to uh, what kind of reaction that is. Is it because it's been too dry, or is it because it's too wet? We've had some cases, both of them here, that have kind of stunted the seasonal growth on corn and soybeans in that case. So uh, right now, it's going to be quite important what the Midwest Crop Tour that's in the middle of the month, and we'll be out there uh, a little, just a little before they're out there at that point ourselves. So it'll be interesting to see what we see in Central Illinois. And right now, at least, we might even take another stab at another state. We'll see.
So, what are your marketing options right now?
Well, as I talked about last week, I kind of moved up my old crop supplies and actually tried to suggest another 10% on new crop beans and corn. It's taken quite a tumble. I kind of, at this point at least, don't have any old crop to sell. And new crop, I think I want to sit back and wait and see what we see on our Illinois tour out there yeah, in the middle of the month and that see what we also hear from our friends at Pro Farmer when they go out on their tour starting I think on the 16th of October August and that at this point. So it's going to be a right now at least we're going to be getting some more information. I'd have to feel like that because of what we're seeing in our bends here at this point, that maybe the optimism on corn yields aren't going to start out any better than the USDA's 183 and 53 on beans. I think in corn they might even take that number down a bushel or two. But the interesting thing about it, we still have plenty of old crop corn out here. So the issue is going to be is our demand for the new crop scenario going to be as strong going into 2026, 27 on corn. And actually, soybeans is going to be quite interesting at this point. With South America's supplies, they're going to be pretty heavy competitors here as we go through the first half of our U.S. Marketing year 26, 27. But right now, I got my suggestion is to kind of hold your sales at current values on new crop in that 20-25% levels on corn and beans. And we'll see what we want to do um, as the reports start coming in from the country.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.